Speaking of warning signs, there is one in Europe and it is blinking red. I'm talking about Ukraine. The developments should not surprise you. Europe knows it, Ukraine knows it, it's not lost on America either. According to the CIA director, William Burns, Ukraine could lose the war by the end of the year. That's right. Speaking at an event on Thursday, Burns warned essentially that the US is running out of time to help Ukraine. He was painting a scenario in which the US Congress does not approve billions of dollars in supplemental aid to Ukraine. He said that there is a very real risk that Ukraine could lose on the battlefield, or at least put Putin in a position where he could dictate the terms of a political settlement. The CIA director admitted that Ukraine is running out of ammunition at an alarming rate. He's right. Not only have the conditions along the front line worsened for Ukraine, the focus of its allies shifted elsewhere. And this means that Ukraine has been left to fend for itself in a way, without cash, weapons or troops. And now there is panic in Ukraine. In an interview with BBC, the Ukrainian Prime Minister warned that there will be a third world war if Ukraine loses the war to Russia. He urged the US Congress to pass the long-stalled aid package that will greatly help the country fight the Russian assault. The funding proposal, remember, has been stuck in the US Congress as some American lawmakers have objected to sending tens of billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine. But this is not the first time that Ukraine has warned about the consequences of a potential defeat. Last year, President Volodymyr Zelensky said that if Russia won the war, it could invade Poland next, triggering World War III. Russia, of course, has ridiculed such claims. President Vladimir Putin, in fact, has consistently dismissed suggestions that he might one day attack Eastern Europe as, quote-unquote, complete nonsense. Russia has also never attacked or shown an intention to invade a NATO country. NATO's collective defense pact means that an attack on one is an attack on all. But remember, unlike Poland, Ukraine is still not a member of the NATO. Hence, Ukraine's alarming claims can be seen as an attempt by Kyiv to get more aid from its allies. But you see, what Ukraine is not exaggerating is its critical dependence on the US to sustain a war with Russia. So while Ukraine begs for more weapons and American politicians bicker about sending them to Kyiv, Russia has shown the world it can sustain a long war. In the 2 years since sending troops to Ukraine, Russia has gained control of 20% of its territory. Its oil and other exports have found new markets. Its factories are churning out more weapons, and its economy has shown incredible resilience. Meanwhile, America has declared its full support for Ukraine, but has lost its interest in protecting the country, it seems. Washington may not want to admit it publicly, but Ukraine has become a lost cause for them in a way. Let me break this down for you. Reason number one, Ukraine is outnumbered on the battlefield. It just does not have enough men to fight the war. According to latest estimates, Kyiv has lost more than 70,000 soldiers in the war. It is also struggling to mobilize more men to fight Russia. According to reports, Ukrainian forces are outnumbered by Russia, 10-1. No surprises then. Ukraine's military is under severe pressure. And in comparison, Russia has greater manpower. And this brings me to reason number two of why things are looking this way for Ukraine. Western war machinery just cannot keep up with Ukraine's appetite for weapons. Ukraine cannot possibly produce what they need for the battlefield. Neither can the US nor Europe. They simply cannot keep up with Ukraine's needs. NATO's own ammunition stocks are at the bottom of the barrel. In stark contrast, Russia's own war machine continues to churn out a shocking amount of war gear. According to Pentagon's assessment, Russia has been able to restock all of what that they have lost in the battlefield. And lastly, reason number three. Because America's real strategic focus is the Indo-Pacific region. It can only pay so much attention to Europe. Plus, the crisis in West Asia, of course, is taking up all of its current attention and resources. In short, America is spread way too thin. And for these reasons and more, Ukraine seems to be heading for a defeat. The only question is, just how bad will Ukraine's losses really be before America realizes this? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.